stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening to some others. Pepe, good to see ya. Been a few days. Hope you're having a good Thanksgiving, dude. It is Thanksgiving, so I'm probably gonna give it to the 2-3 minute mark. Let people get on. Maybe there's a family argument or something going on, and we can interfere or something, right? Silly Thanksgiving. I don't really celebrate holidays. They hurt too much sometimes. Today, instead of just walling about, my family, because I don't get invited. My dad's side's, I'm sure, doing something, but I haven't been invited in like close to 10 years. So today I decided, you know what? I'm not required to go to work, but I went to work anyway. It's detox. They need help. Always. We always need help. Not even so much for the clients, but for the other staff too. They have family and things like that, and I have free time. So I went to work and helped a couple people and went to an AA club, helped some other people. So that way I'm not sitting around in self-pity all day about, thinking about all the trauma and stuff that I went through family, because that's really what comes up, right? Hi, Patricia. It's good to see you, and good evening to you. Somebody missed their daddy. When I got home, he was at the basement door. Mow, mow. Huh. You act like a tough guy, but you're just a little wussy. Yes, you are, huh? Oh, I love you too. I said hi, Patricia. It didn't call you a Facebook person this time, so look at him holding him like a little baby. Oh, poor guy. He's like, this is my first Thanksgiving with you, Daddy. Can I have some turkey? Okay, let's get started. I think I've run off enough people with the cat. All right. So we're going to talk about a universal search. And yes, this has to do with God. I'm just going to put it out there. Let's cover gratitude real quick, because I'm sure everybody anticipated I was going to come on and talk about gratitude. I'm weird when it comes to gratitude. All right? Because I don't feel great. I'm happy I have a roof over my head, but to be grateful for it is tough. I'm going to tell you why. Because I've been homeless, and there's people out there that don't have a roof over their head. I saw plenty of them today. Those are the people that I work with, the downtrodden, the broken, the homeless, the ones everybody else just doesn't give a fuck about. They don't. And so it's hard for me to be grateful for something that I have that somebody else doesn't. It's hard for me to be grateful for that, because that is a comparison. And just like I don't compare my recovery, I also not going to compare my lifestyle or who I am based on that. That's just, I think that's wrong. And I think it's not a right way to go. I would be more grateful for things like having God in my life. Stop that, dude. All right, you're done. Go away. Now he's doing it. If I can't have good attention, I'll just get bad attention, because he's a cat. So I'm grateful for the things like I'm sober. I have God in my life. Really, what else do I need to be grateful for beyond that I have God in my life? If that is a universal search, and if God is everything, then that must be that all it takes, right? Because when I put God first in my life, when I put my program first in my life, I am doing God's will. Okay. So therefore, I believe that my gratitude just needs to go to God because then it covers everything, everything that I appreciate that He's ever done. Okay. I am grateful for the fact that He has given me a path. I'm grateful for the fact that I'm in the position that I'm in. I was talking with my fellow employees. See, they need to work to survive. I do not. And they said, that's tough. And I told them I sacrificed everything. I gave everything up to do this. Mm. I don't live a fancy life. I drive around a piece of shit car with a check engine light on. Okay. I'm running out of socks. I don't know if I can afford those, but God always supplies, always. So I don't have to worry about it. I don't even know how each month I continue to be able to pay for the website. It just happens. Now that I'm working, though, now I know because it doesn't take much, right? So remember that when you're out and about and you're like, oh, I would never go to detox. And you best be grateful for the people that do work at detox because I'm there and I haven't seen all you people that say you're this and that and all that. They aren't listening. They don't listen to me. I don't see you there. I go to a lot of meetings in the city and I don't see you there. So we're going to be talking we're going to be reading out of the big book, page 87. Should be that hard to find, Dion. Come on. All right. All right. So we usually conclude the period of meditation with a prayer that we be shown all through the day. I just want to make sure I'm reading that I fit the right part in. So, um, prayer will be shown all through the day what our next step is to be. Okay? I had no idea what I was going to do after work. I went to the car. I'm like, what time is it? Okay, I'm going to go to a meeting. I went across town, went to a meeting. That's how I based my day. Well, I was done with the meeting. I'm like, do I feel like hanging out? A little bit. I hung out a little bit. Talked to my friend Lisa. Came home. We that we be given whatever we need to be taking care of such problems. We ask especially for freedom from self will and are careful to make no request for ourselves only. We may ask for ourselves, however, if others will be helped. Okay. The third step prayer, I'm praying for myself, but what I'm asking God to do is to remove everything that's blocking me from the sunlight of the Spirit so that I can be a better use to His children. I ask God to keep me clean and sober each day because when I'm that way, when I'm not sober, I abuse His children, and no, that's a no now. Even to the bullies, I'm not allowed to. I'll call them out. I'll use fact, but I can't go beyond that. Get on. Many of us have wasted a lot of time doing that and it doesn't work. You can easily see why. Okay. Don't ask God for money. God doesn't do money. He doesn't do football. He doesn't do taxes. He doesn't do a lot of things. If it is man made, God doesn't do it. No, that is not how God works. You need to put your effort in. God, please keep me clean and sober today. I think I'm going to binge watch Netflix. Nope. Eh. Eh. Oh, it's Thanksgiving. I don't need to go to a meeting. You need to go to a meeting more today than you do any other day out of the year. Thanksgiving, I think, is harder than Christmas. For me. For me, it is. But the holidays do get tough. So we have to remember this. These are things that we have to remember. Remember that love and tolerance is our code. Okay? Like this morning, there were a lot of angry people on detox. It's Thanksgiving. A lot of people yelling bullshit and saying words that I don't really appreciate, but I still need to show respect. It's part of my job, and it can be tough to do, especially when they're in your face calling you names and stuff, right? That doesn't happen too awfully much. But yeah, tensions were down there. They're away from their family and loved ones. It is hard to see. It is hard to watch these people sometimes, knowing that they're going to leave and have nothing out there for them. And it can crush your heart because that they literally want it. Some of them beg to get out. If circumstances warrant, we ask our wives or friends to join us in morning meditation. I prefer to do meditation alone. I like it alone. I don't want anybody else around. Sorry. I just don't. That's how I am. Because that is very, very personal to me. And I have not been given a lot of things that are very, very personal to me. So I'm very selfish about my God. I'm very selfish with my higher power. That's my higher power. You may not use him. You may not borrow it. Nothing. You don't even get to touch or hear about my God. I do not describe him because it's undescribable. If we belong to a religious denomination which requires definite morning devotion, we attend to that also. Okay? Now, for the most part of my recovery, I have not attended church. I felt really uncomfortable. And recently, I found a church that I do like. I have not become a regular member yet. I've gone once. That does not make me a regular member of church. Okay? I need to fit it into my schedule on Sundays because Sunday is usually Dion time. That's the day that I take for myself. And even then, I still go to meetings. If not members of religious bodies, sometimes we select or memorize a few set prayers which emphasize the principles we have been discussing. Memorize the serenity prayer, memorize the third step prayer, memorize the seventh step prayer. Okay? They're pretty easy. They're pretty straightforward, but do yourself a favor and at least memorize the third step prayer. You already have the serenity prayer. You already know the Lord's Prayer. Oh, you memorize that? Well, the Lord's Prayer is longer than the third step prayer. Okay? Now, you can change it around a little bit to kind of suit what it is with your higher power. Got a different cat here wanting attention now. There are many helpful books also. Suggestions about these may be obtained from one's priest, minister, or rabbi. Be quick to see where religious people are right. Make use of what they have to offer. And this is the universal search that they were talking about with the title. Okay. If God is infinite, if God is everything, that means there's more to discover all the time. And it's always good. It's always good. God has never handed me something like, oh, here you go. I kind of half did this and it's pretty shitty, but go ahead, take it. Never. Never. I got too many freaking wires. All right, let's get to some chat here. Hi, Dion. Happy Thanksgiving. That's Ingrid. I wrote my own third step prayer, but I have it memorized. Yeah, I know about your third step prayer. I do. You told me you mentioned it in the meeting. In fact, I think you did last week too. And that's really good. And you told me it and it works great. You know, it's personalized. And I actually kind of think that's neat. I'm not capable to do that. I just copy and mimic, right? So good on you, Ingrid, for saying, hey, you know what? This doesn't quite fit who I am. And it even says in the big book right after that, you could change the words if you want to. It says it right after. So Ingrid, way to stay up. And this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. Be open-minded because God's going to reach out to you in weird ways. And it's almost always through people. Almost always. It might be somebody you don't like. It doesn't matter. God's answering you. God's been answering you your whole life. Your whole life. We just couldn't fucking see it. We could not see the begats for the begets. We couldn't see the forest for the trees. Do you remember when you noticed that grass was fucking green? Not just this, kind of light shade of green, but a sparkling green? I did not know that. I couldn't see it. Everything around me when I am drinking has this Star Trek fog. A lot of you are not old enough to know this. Star Trek. Star Trek, I don't know if you've ever watched it, the original. There's a fog around some people. They do it around the women mostly to make them brighten up. Yeah. So it's the Star Trek effect. Gene Roddenberry has actually advanced this further than most people. Because in the Star Trek universe, everybody is supplied with what they need. Everybody. Wouldn't that be cool? And then you go to work and do what it is that you want because your needs are already provided for. Imagine a world like that. It is like that. Kind of. So when you have to pay $7 for a fucking sandwich, $7 for a quart of fucking oil. Oh my God, I'm tired. I don't even want to drive no more. All right. A universal search. Be quick to see where religious people are right. Make use of what they have to offer. Church that I go to has offered me something pretty cool. And actually, you know what? God just gave me an answer because I'm like, how do I get into the church in a way Dion likes? I got to think of myself too, guys. I got to think of myself first because if my intentions are wrong, it ain't going to work. But what I can do is just go to the pastor and say, if you have people that need help, I will come down once a week and help them. There we go. Now Dion's in his element. He's going to church and he's doing what he needs to be doing. God's telling me to do this. I'm not going to answer. I'm sorry you're frozen. I didn't know things froze in Texas. I'm sorry, honey. All right. If I do not claim to have all the answers in spiritual matters. No. I have very few. Any more than I claim to have all the answers about alcoholism. There are others who are also engaged in a spiritual search. If I keep an open mind about what others have to say, I have much to gain. There was a gentleman today in the meeting, and I tell you, he's got 3 months, and that 3 months is about the time where if you have mental illnesses, they start cropping up. It's about that 3-month mark. For a lot of people, for me, it took a little bit longer to realize that I was a lot more messed up than I thought. And I could tell he's going through some trauma. It's Thanksgiving. What else could it be? Right? And he's just trying to get this thing. Got a good sponsor. What he said was fantastic. He spoke great, but I could feel the pain. And he isn't required to feel that way. So I talked to him a little bit after, and I told him, when I got in, I just felt guilty as fuck. I felt bad. I felt shameful. And my sponsor told me to take it easy on myself. Okay? You're going through a lot of hard things that aren't your fault. And you're trying to get through them. So take it easy on yourself. And he looked at me like, no shit. See, he knew that answer already. He just had to be reminded. I was reminded. I was talking to a friend the other day. She said, Dion, you take things too personally. She was correct. I needed to rehear that because my brain hadn't said it to me yet. But as soon as she said that, it was like a veil. Whoop. And then I was back. Because a person decided not to accept my bullshit. Because that's what it was. Bullshit. Okay? It's okay. It's okay. I had somebody call me this morning. I'm like, you can start your day over anytime you want. You have the capability. Okay. Sorry. I like to read what people say. So because a lot of times they're like, Dion, you're so awesome. Ingrid says, oh, you are moving again. Lots of rain here. I'm lucky I was diagnosed before. I sparingly used my meds to withdraw from alcohol in the spare bedroom. Wow, Ingrid. Yeah. And that, God, that hurts. Why? No, nope, not here. I almost went off on a treatment center. Yeah. Okay. All right. We're not going there. If I keep an open mind about what others have to say, I have much to gain. My sobriety is greatly enriched and my practice of an 11th step more fruitful when I use both literature and practices of my Judeo-Christian tradition and the resources of other religions. Thus, I receive support from many sources in staying away from the first drink because it's the first drink that kills you. You probably think it's the last, but it's the first. Doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. Why? Because we're not drinking today. That's why it doesn't matter. Quit worrying about the drinking portion if you ain't drinking, right? You are allowed to have a good day. You are a good person. Not only are you a good person, you're a fucking miracle in my book. You're a miracle in my book. Every single one of you. Even the people not listening, them too, right? Because if God says every person is my child and you must treat them as such, then that's what I must do. Okay. All right. That's the wrap up. Ingrid always knows when I'm finishing. She always knows. Man, it's like we know each other or something. I love this program. I do. I love this program more than I love not God. Well, it's all encompassing, right? So I can just be grateful for God, and that encompasses everything. I love you guys. Peace out and have a day. Thank you so much for being here. I love you.